with another handheld title in the Mario Kart series put up to pull off this cumbersome task. Multiplayer manages to return for Mario Kart DS. Like before with Mario Kart Super Circuit, the DS installment will require multiple systems in order for play between more than one person. Players without a Mario Kart DS cartridge can still join in on the scurry through using the DS Download Play feature on the DS System menu and having the race host within Mario Kart DS's multiplayer menu select the simple configuration for the race room. All players with their own cartridge of Mario Kart DS will join the room as instructed, shown in the first screen of the multiplayer menu. In the normal room configuration, each contender will play using their own cartridge, and all tracks, battle arenas, characters, carts, and customizable emblems are available for use while racing other participants. In Simple Mode, only tracks from the Mushroom and Shell Cup will be available for all players to race on in Versus Mode. For the Simplified Battle Mode, only the battle arenas of Nintendo DS, Tart Top, and Pipe Plaza will be made available and will be randomly selected by the game. Lastly, all Download Play racers will be mandated to play as Shy Guy with one of 8 different colors, and will be racing in a standard kart with the stats of Yoshi's standard YS. Before its discontinuation on May 20th, 2014, you could connect Mario Kart DS to the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, where you can race against players from all over the world. When you are ready to race online, select a category of players you would like to race with. Rivals will pit you against players with similar records to yours. Regional will keep the race within your own country, and Worldwide will reach out to players as far as on the other side of the globe. Although good luck getting this option to function, as a hefty amount of in-game lag, player dropouts, and race disconnections will ensue almost every session. If racing with strangers is not your fancy, you are able to race with your close friends online through exchanging each other's friend codes and using the friend mode in the same screen where the rivals, regional, and worldwide options are available. Also, for great convenience sake, you are able to access your DS internet settings within Mario Kart DS so that you can adjust your internet settings without leaving the action. For the first of its kind, Mario Kart DS's online wasn't super stellar, as shown with its troublesome netplay and inconvenient friend code registrations. But who's to say that it would later down the line pave the way for arguably some of the best Nintendo would ever produce in terms of online multiplayer.
Here we go!
Hello everybody, this is Nintendo 14, welcome back to the Mario Kart. Last part, we we were in the missions doing level 6, and because we have all the star ranks there, and all of the ones prior, we unlocked missions level 7. This part, I went off screen, and unlocked Waluigi, our third unlockable character that we can get in Mario Kart DS. This one we had to go into the the Lightning Cup for the 100cc, that's it. And then I also went ahead and got additional carts for Waluigi that we can choose. Some of them are not his, and from other characters. You can unlock that by actually completing the cup that we're going to be racing in today, which is the Special Cup. We got a choice from the B-Dasher, Poltergust, Brute, and the Tyrant of all things, but we're gonna be going with the B-Dasher. So yeah, I did go ahead and finish the cups already, just because if I'm able to show off these unlockables, I have to complete the cups first. So with all that being said, let's begin our first of 4 tracks in the Special Cup. This one being Wario Stadium, one of my all-time personal favorites out there. Not because it's a fun track, Mario Kart 8, and the fact that it's got the same music as Waluigi Pinball, but any track like this where it's just so amazing. Look at the dirt aspect, and we're inside a stadium, for crying out loud. You know, that's gonna add up to be one of the best formulas for having a racetrack. Just look at it, all the hype and stuff around it, like the jumps through the fire and the S-turns, trying to avoid the mud, and then the ramps up there, man, just doesn't get any more exciting. Kind of reminds me in a way of Waluigi Stadium from Double Dash. Alright, so with all Special Cup videos that I've done in the past, time to give you the rundown on what you got to do in these later cups, because it gets quite tricky. If it isn't because of the blue shells CPUs, or maybe even the track design, who knows. But here's what I can give you guys. For one, what you choose for your kart, that's going to quite be your best friend. If you choose a kart with not that much acceleration or handling, you might struggle. Especially if you choose a kart like DK's or Daisy's or Bowser's or maybe Wario. Nah, Wario is okay, but there's better karts than Wario. But keep it short. Pick a good acceleration kart. Just lot of good. Just choose a kart with a lot of good controllability. I kind of get that with the B Dasher, but yeah, that's more centered around balance. And that's this kart has just about everything, but it'll get the job for us done for this part. But do keep that in mind. Also, you're gonna need that for going as fast as you can, because you're going to need to get all the speed you can in order to stay out in front of second place and beyond. Because as you can see, we've been getting pelted with non-stop blue shells. And thankfully, with all the lead we've gotten because of our speed in our kart, then we can afford to take a couple blue shells and stay up in front. That and our acceleration is decent enough for us to get back up to speed and not lose too much time in getting back up to speed. So if you can do that and kind of stick Dry Bones out to the outside like that so he doesn't get a run off of us on the final corner, we can hold him off and get our first win of the Special Cup in a dramatic fashion. So let's go ahead and move on a little bit. Maybe we can get hit by less blue shells in the Peach Gardens, because for one thing, if the blue shells aren't taking you out of first, then they are certainly extending the period of time in tracks. So we've seen a little bit of Peach Garden throughout the mission mode, and now we're finally racing here in its gloriness. It's quite one of my favorite tracks. You know, not to sound redundant or anything, but you know what, the tracks here in the Special Cup tracks here in Mario Kart DS are just so well crafted. I think out of all the Special Cups in all of the Mario Kart games, I think this Special Cup has the best track selection and I guess overall track difficulty for the Special Cup, because to me, I think the Special Cup is iconic in that in the selection of tracks here, and it's everything that's I know and like about the Special Cup, or rather the whole difficulty factor you can say about that in like a game like Super Mario Kart or Mario Kart Super Circuit. I don't know. I'm thinking too deeply into this because I guess that's what I do whenever I talk about a franchise that I love so much like Mario Kart. Then I just go so in deep depth with all that. Okay, so I guess another thing, do use your mini-map as much as you can. If you see like there's a blue shell being thrown with no hesitance by the CPUs, and second place is relatively close to you, drop back. It's rather if you're able to, let the CPUs handle the blue shells, and let them take the hit, so that way you can you don't lose that much time. But in cases where you're far out and you don't have enough time to back out of first place, then just keep on going, because you'll be losing more time if you were to do it that way. So either way, you could try and go as fast as you can to try and stay out in front, and what's the word? You just stay out in front and hope that you don't suffer too much from getting hit by a blue shell, or you could time it out so that way you can avoid the blue shells by dropping back. Needless to say, the blue shell could dictate the way on how you perform in these difficult or more difficult cups, and especially the mirror mode. Have I ever mentioned the mirror mode? It was in Double Dash, and then I'll be getting, there's a mirror mode that you can get if you complete the next cup that we have after the Special Cup, which will be the Lightning Cup. So I got another boo, nothing going on there, not like with the Banana Cup where I got a bullet bill. So here's the Bowser's Castle. You know what? Third track in a row. I like this Bowser Castle too. I think now thinking back on it, this might be my favorite Bowser Castle out of all the games, because this part right there where you gotta balance yourself on that log to try and stay on the top route, which is where you want to be for this track. You don't want to be going or dropping down to the bottom, because you'll be taking a left lane, which is a wider lane compared to if you were to stay on the top of that log. So if you can, just stay up there every time you go through there, because you will shave off some time every time. That and the CPUs do sometimes they'll drop down and waste some time there. And also with the similar case with this turn right there that we just went through, make sure you go all the way to the right and not towards the left, where you could also lose a lot of time. And don't take that turn too tight, otherwise you can make a long fall down and you can potentially lose a lot of time and the lead and get yourself out of the top 3. Alright, so just for the old sakes, I decided to, hey, you know what, let's see what's down here. Not much is down there except a couple patches of grass that you have to drive around, and then eventually you'll get to the alternate route that's much slower. But again, that's the only time you'll see me use that. At least on camera, that is. So anyways, we're in the final lap. Thankfully, with how common the blue shells are in this game, we can make good use of that and let the blue shell go off the CPU, so we can take the lead. Make sure we get through that our usual corner right there. Avoid the fires and the womp that moves from side to side like it did in N64's version of Bowser Castle. Through the log one last time to our usual route and down the ramp right there through this straightaway. Try not to fall off those moving blocks. We should have this race in the bag. And back to the start finish line. We are 3 for 3 in wins for the Special Cup, and now we are down to one last track, the track that is always there at the end of the Special Cup. You know it, I know it. It is Rainbow Road, ladies and gentlemen, in its tricky glory. This Rainbow Road, nowhere near as difficult as it was, or as it is in any of the previous Mario Kart titles, with some exceptions to Mario Kart 64, in the way that you could get sleepy in driving around that version's Rainbow Road, because that is just a grueling long race. But here it has, this version of Rainbow Road does have a good balance between length and difficulty. I don't think you'll find yourself falling too often here. As a matter of fact, if you can stay on the track, there are a couple corners where you might fall off, but you should be relatively okay, because the game, or this track, does give you plenty of room to stay on the track, unlike Super Mario Kart, where it's basically a one groove racetrack. Here I think it's like a groove and a half, so you're okay here. And the neat thing here is, unlike in Double Dash, which is this is what this turn is similar to, you can get around that turn through drifting. I find it more difficult to do that in Double Dash because of the way drifting works there, but you can do that, and you can drift. You can use the direction of your drift to steer in all the power boosts, so you can get maximum speed through that spiral turn. And oh, before I even mention that part where you're going through the loop-de-loop, that was always awesome. That was one of my favorite things about Diddy Kong Racing. There were 2 tracks that had that, and I'm just as stoked to see that come back here in Mario Kart DS. This is so cool going in the loop-de-loop, but because we're on a loop-de-loop, do be careful, don't do anything fancy with some hops, and more importantly, don't get hit by items while you're in the section, because if you're not up to speed in the middle of that section, you will fall off. You'll derail yourself from that from the loop-de-loop, and you will fall off, and the Kitu will have to pick you up and put you back on the track. So make sure you're at maximum velocity through these loop-de-loops. Oh, that's so cool going through the. And I also like to hop one more, or initiate my drift, or like hop right before I get off it, just so I can stretch out the power boost that is the loop-de-loops constantly on. Alright, so one of the more fun Rainbow Roads out and over with. Man, that Special Cup was a whole lot of fun. All 4 of those tracks I really enjoy. You know, for being a more difficult, or for it being the Special Cup and the most difficult cup, or supposed to be the most difficult cup out of all the Nitro Grand Prix. You know what? It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed getting that gold cup with Waluigi. He is number 1 with the B Dasher that he borrowed from Mario. Totally, how he stole it. Alright, so we'll take a demanding triple stars for our efforts in the Special Cup with that nice yellow glittery gold cup. And normally here you should unlock the 7 or additional carts for everyone, more so than the 3rd one. But because I already went ahead and did that, then that's it. Okay. So here we are with the credits again. We had credits last weekend, and now, like I did with the credits for the mission mode, I shall give my brief thoughts on the Nitro Grand Prix. So, how I feel about all the tracks, the new tracks for Mario Kart DS. All of them were pretty memorable. Even Shroom Ridge, which hasn't been brought back in Mario Kart games after this game. You know what? There's just a solid lineup in the 12 new tracks for Mario Kart DS. It shows with all the tracks that were brought back in later Mario Kart games, like Yoshi Falls, Cheep Beach, etc. A couple of those, like I mentioned, Shroom Ridge, Figure 8 Circuit, Mario Circuit, Bowser Castle, and Rainbow Road, which are more obvious ones that would see a tougher time being brought back. Especially Bowser Castle tracks that are specifically put in the Special Cup. Those could take a little bit while to see brought back in future Mario Kart titles. And I think those tracks that have yet to be brought back, I think they'll be pretty great for a future game. Because you know what, the track design for the new tracks in Mario Kart DS, despite that those tracks have a lacking in shortcuts, I think you know, they'd be pretty great. And maybe in the new Mario Kart they can, or in a new Mario Kart game, they can update the track to include shortcuts, like they did with Cheep Beach and Mario Kart 8. Like, there's a couple shortcuts there, but you know what? It's good enough. Alright. There's Yoshi, everybody that are in standard carts that are driving by. This animation for the top screen for the credits, it's really similar to the credits from the mission mode from level 6. Only difference is that instead of Luigi, it's Mario. And I think it actually includes all of them. I don't think Mario was in the Mission 6 credits. If anyone wants to correct me on that, sure you can. But expect a lot more from this week. This upload schedule will be a little bit different than last week or the week 2 weeks before it. In that tomorrow we're gonna be wrapping up the mission mode. Yeah, because we're in the 3rd to last day of August. And that seems like the best way to handle it. So yeah, tomorrow will be mission modes. The day after that will be the Lightning Cup. So with that, tune in next time for tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow, as we're going to be tackling missions level 7, which you can only access if you have a star ranking between mission if you have a star ranking in missions, or in all the missions from missions level 1 through level 6. So with that, we'll do just as that. Go on missions level 7. So I'll see you guys later for that.